Welcome to EDU World Space.
Okay, so we have what's the product of a Robinson annulation, or we've been told is the product of a Robinson annulation. And what we need to find is the neutral products that originated or reacted to form this product. Okay, and so pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to color code this. We're going to see that we're always going to end up with an alpha beta unsaturated ketone as part of it. Okay, and we're always going to end up with some other ketone part of it as well. Okay, the alpha beta unsaturated ketone is always going to have this alpha beta unsaturated ketone is going to have this alpha prime carbon, meaning the alpha carbon that's not participating in a double bond is in the annulation product, will be participating in a double bond, and specifically it will be participating in a double bond with the carbon that was previously the carbonyl carbon of our ketone. So if we identify this double bond here, we know that this must have been alpha prime and this must have been C. Then if this must have been alpha prime, then this must have been the carbonyl carbon of our alpha beta unsaturated ketone. This must have been the alpha carbon of our alpha beta unsaturated ketone. And this must have been the beta carbon of our alpha beta unsaturated ketone. Right, so that's one portion. Okay. And then from there, all we have left to do is decide whether where the boundaries of our ketone then must have been. We know that we're forming a bond between this beta carbon, right, and one of the alpha carbons of our saturated ketone, right, which tells us that this bond in particular has to be new, right? The idea is that we have to form a bond between the beta carbon of our alpha beta unsaturated ketone and either one of the alpha carbons of our original ketone, right? So whatever carbon this beta is attached to, that's also attached to our carbonyl carbon, must have been the alpha carbon of our alpha beta unsaturated ketone, which means that this bond in particular is new. And we also know that if part of the reaction was connecting our alpha prime to our carbonyl carbon directly, that this bond is new. Okay, so it's at this point that we can kind of distinguish the two halves of the molecule. So I'll continue by marking one half in blue. Okay, and then the other half in blue. Okay. So the final thing is to redraw the alpha beta unsaturated ketone portion, recalling that the bond between the alpha and beta carbons must have been unsaturated, meaning there's a double bond. Right, that's the upper portion. And then I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon chain in which I know this central carbonyl carbon was a carbonyl. So it must have looked like that. And that's how you can effectively break the molecule in two. If you want to see it color-coded and maybe a slightly easier to see way now that we've stepped through all of the necessary steps, basically. The idea is that we broke the molecule here, we broke the molecule here. We said that this upper portion was one piece, and we said that this lower portion was one piece. And so we then can extrapolate that the alpha beta unsaturated portion must have looked like this, and the other ketone, the non-alpha beta unsaturated portion, must have looked like that.